super excited to get started. Feel free, throw in your questions to the Q&A, and you can also throw them on Twitter or the Circle community, and we'll be watching out for those as well. So I'm going to go ahead and get started answering the first question. Okay, so this is a great question from Adam. Adam asked, is there a training video or class on how to use the platform? So yeah, Gumroad has a ton of amazing resources. First of all, if you're just getting started on how to use the platform, we have this amazing section for Gumroad support, and I can go ahead and pull up the link for that as well. 1 second. I'll be posting this in the chat. But you can also find them on YouTube. So basically, Gumroad support, you can go through and find anything, from creating your account to, how to send a post. So there's going to be a lot of introductory videos there that are super helpful. We're just grabbing a link for that really quickly. And there's going to be a lot of resources to kind of help you get started. So in terms of actually using the platform, I would say those are going to be your best bet to just kind of go through the support videos as you have questions and go through the different blog posts. And I would say that on how to use the platform, you can also kind of go through Circle if you have any questions, and you can interact with us one-on-one. So I think we've just posted our support videos in the channel. And also another great way to kind of get support from Gumroad is going to gumroad.com/Gumroad and subscribing there, and you'll kind of be updated as new features come out, new challenges. So it's kind of a great way to stay in touch with all of us at Gumroad. And I would also recommend, Adam, that you join the Circle community, because that's kind of the best place that we answer questions one-on-one and help you out. So hopefully that was helpful, and feel free, to ask any follow-up questions. If you look in the chat right now, you'll see that we have this Gumroad support section, and Gumroad University just started, and it's kind of a great way for you to access all of our challenges and go through all the resources that we have in terms of workshops. You can also find our creator spotlights there, which are a great way to find other people that have been really successful at Gumroad and how they can help you. So hopefully that was helpful. I highly recommend everyone join the Circle community. Okay, so this is an awesome question from the Circle community, and the creator asked, why is your product not on Gumroad Discover? So this is a big thing that a lot of creators think they need to rely on Gumroad Discover, and a lot of creators do get focused, they do get featured on Gumroad Discover, and that's awesome, but I don't think it accounts for all of your sales, and it really shouldn't, because if you're going to buy a product, someone's going to buy a product from you on Gumroad, or you're buying a product from someone, it's probably because you know them and you feel like you have a connection to them. So I would highly recommend that you do not optimize for just getting your product on Gumroad Discover. If you're a new creator and you're trying to quit your 9-to-5 and become a full-time Gumroad creator, I would really focus on making sure you have an audience. So this is something that the next week challenge is really going to help with. I would focus on building your audience, and I would focus on providing value one-on-one on Twitter or Facebook groups or even forums. Wherever your audience is, I would not focus directly on being in Gumroad Discover, because that's awesome and it might get you some sales, and it definitely will be helpful once you're featured there. But the best thing that you can do as an individual creator right now is to focus on building your audience and building those kind of one-on-one relationships with people and creating value for them, and even giving away free content. So I would say for this creator in particular, don't focus on just optimizing for Gumroad Discover. It's kind of, if you're featured there, that's great, and that's going to lead to some sales. But the biggest thing you can do for yourself is to focus on building an audience. So hopefully that is helpful, and I'm going to go to the next question in the Q&A from Andrew. This is a great question. So important fixes. I can definitely send this over to Gumroad support and post this on our product channel as well. So I'm just going to go through and probably just going to send this to them. So thank you so much for asking this. I totally understand the height amounts. I've actually have had that thought myself. So I will direct this question right to support and product at Gumroad. So thank you so much, Andrew, for asking that. And our next question is from Mike. do you have A/B testing for the landing pages? I'm not seeing the conversion rate that I'd like to see, so A/B testing would allow me to experiment with changes to the sales copy. So that is an awesome question. We do not currently have that at Gumroad. I've kind of used some workarounds in the past where, for instance, on my website, I sell my Gumroad product, but I also just sell it in the website. So I can do all of my tracking there and kind of test my copy, but I can still really conveniently sell on through Gumroad, which is amazing because it's so much easier to do than setting up some other kind of system yourself, and which takes so much longer. So for you right now, Mike, we're putting a lot of effort this year into making the sales pages amazing for creators and much more customizable. And we also just did an amazing Q&A with Daniel Vassallo last month. And he kind of went through the entire product roadmap, which was incredible. And hopefully we can have him again soon. But for you in particular, Mike, I would say that you could potentially create your own landing page, maybe on Webflow, for instance, and do your copy there and then still integrate your Gumroad product. So I have an example of that on my website where I'm selling my Gumroad product, and I'm just selling inline right there. And so you can test, kind of use a workaround for right now if you want to do that. We don't currently have that. I can definitely bring that up to our product page though, our product team. So hopefully that was helpful. And we have another question from Andrew. So your other question is, can your issues be fixed or work around with coders or coding? Can you suggest resources available to hire? So I'm not sure I completely understand the question, Andrew. If maybe you could elaborate a little more in the chat, that would be awesome. Can your issues be fixed or worked around with? I'm just going to look through. So right now you really can't create kind of sub profiles. You could, I guess, create another Gumroad account. So we don't have that currently, but I can definitely, like I said, bring that up to product. And the filter on the profile will be hidden after 9 offers. So I'm not sure what filter you're referring to. Maybe it'd be helpful, Andrew, if you join the Circle community and you just message me there directly so we could chat after this. I think that would be better so we can just work together one-on-one. So hopefully that's helpful. And we have another question about CSS coding. And yes, so we just did an awesome workshop. Sahil hosted that on CSS and customizing your landing page on Gumroad. So I can grab the link to that really quickly. You can actually find it if you just follow Gumroad on Twitter, and we can also post it in the chat as well. Let me just pull that up really quickly. So here it is, and I'm going to post this to everyone in the group. Okay, so awesome. So Sahil just did this amazing Gumroad workshop where he goes through CSS, because it is possible to customize your landing page right now in Gumroad with your CSS. Everything you want to do, background, you know, if you want to do an image or if you want to change the buttons. So it can really help optimize sales. So this might actually help you, Andrew, for customizing. You also could consider hiring someone yourself, but I would say it's not difficult to learn. So you could start with the workshop, and you can also join the Circle community, and feel free to message me directly and I'll help you out. I've been an engineer for 5 years, so I'm happy to help. And for everyone here as well, you can always join the Circle community and message me, or you can ask for questions publicly to other Gumroad creators. And I'm going to post the link to the Gumroad invite again. So this is your kind of free invite that we just opened up to the public again to Circle. So definitely highly recommend you join. Awesome. Thanks, Andrew. Glad that was helpful. Please feel free to join Circle, and we're really glad to help you one-on-one. And so great question in the chat. What is the next big update coming to Gumroad? So yeah, we have a lot of exciting things coming in this quarter, and I'm actually going to link you right to our Daniel Vassallo chat, where he kind of went through the whole product roadmap. So I think he can answer this a lot better than me. And it was a really amazing kind of different creators Q&A that we went to. Okay, so I just posted that channel, and that's going to, that link to the channel, and that's going to be an amazing place where you can just kind of find out a little more about the roadmap in detail from Daniel, because he is our head of product at Gumroad. So hopefully that is helpful. And he's also on the Circle community. If that's not another incentive to join, it definitely, hopefully should be. This is an awesome question we just got. Any tips on building a personal community? Okay, so this is a great question, and I love this question. We're going to be working a lot on this in the next week's challenge for building your audience. But for me personally, this is a great question because last year I had really no audience. I had no email list, and I went from, basically nothing for my email list to over 5,000 people in just a few months. And on Twitter, I have over 35,000 followers, when in 2019, I had 300 that were basically just my friends. So yeah, I'd love to dig into this. So first of all, I would start with providing value to people one-on-one. And kind of no matter where your platform is, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on Facebook groups, whether you're on different forums, I would really start transitioning all your social media posts into anything that provides value to other people. So I would really focus on what you can do for others, opposed to something that I was really guilty of on social media, thinking that social media was just, sharing about my life, my thoughts, what I was really interested in. And that's awesome if you want to use your profile for, your personal fun stuff or your dog photos like I did. But if you really want to start building an audience, the best thing that you can do is focus on providing value to other people. So we have a few challenges at Gumroad that can definitely help with this. If you go to Gumroad University, I've already shared that link in the chat, and I'll just post that again really quickly to everyone. Okay, awesome. So if you join Gumroad University, we're going to be hosting next week's Build Your Audience Challenge, and we're going to go through everything from helping you create value, helping you build your email list, helping you figure out kind of what you should be focusing on and where you could do better, and all these different tips and tricks that we've learned, all of our, big creators at Gumroad have learned throughout the last few years. And I would definitely focus on, first of all, just providing value. So I would say that's like the number one tip that I could give anyone on this Q&A, is focus on providing value above everything else. So for instance, for this creator in particular, if you want to build your email list, I would focus on building one really amazing thing that you can give away for free. So this is kind of a tip that can help any creator at all, but I would focus on giving away one thing for free and making that thing awesome and kind of seeing how far you get with that. So if you're giving away, something for free and you're not getting a lot of downloads or you're not getting a lot of visibility, maybe there's something a little different in that you could focus on. So I would really focus on kind of starting small, giving away for free, giving away value, and seeing where that gets you. And this can be a really great way for building in public as well. For me, when I was writing my book on Gumroad, and I'm really happy that it did well. But when I started there, the whole time I was writing blog posts, I was writing tweet threads, and you can kind of do both at the same time, which is really helpful for building an audience. So instead of just focusing on building your Gumroad product right away, you can focus on building your Gumroad audience and building your product at the same time. So for this creator, I would focus, for instance, on building up your email list while you're creating your product, or starting, if you're writing a book on Gumroad, or a PDF, or maybe a video guide or course, anything like that. I would just give away little parts of that for free online and see how many people are interested. And that can be a great way to see how many people, will download your product if you spend, 6 months working on a book. And this is something really near and dear to my heart, because I did spend a few months working on this entire course, and I didn't check in with my audience, and I didn't see if they were interested in it. And didn't actually really, even for free, didn't give away that many copies. And I spent months building this. So something that the head of Gumroad talks about a lot at Gumroad is we do things that don't scale. And this is something I love about Gumroad. For instance, these Q&As, we try to work one-on-one with you. On Circle, we try to work one-on-one with you. And that's something that doesn't scale, but it provides value individually. And that's so much greater to us than, trying to create things for everybody, to the masses. And we really want to do things that help you as our creators, because those are y'all are our number one focus. And I would focus on doing that if I was you. I would focus on providing value one-on-one first, whether it's on a forum or Twitter or YouTube comments, and just growing from there. But also feel free to join our Build Your Audience Challenge next week. So I'm going to go through the Q&A. So we have another question. How many emails do I have to collect before starting to send letters to my buyers who bought some free products? So I would not say that there is some limit where you have to, you don't need to start thinking you need to have like 1,000 people on your email list before, you send them an email. I would really, if you have a small email list, we say this a lot at Gumroad, like 1,000, engaged people, or even 100 or 500 engaged people is far more powerful than 100,000 people that, don't really care about your product, or just, are just looking at what you're having to do. So it's so much more powerful for you if you have a more engaged audience. So I would focus on not really worrying about the numbers, but how you can create, engagement in your community. So completely forget about the numbers and just really focus on helping them. Like maybe even setting one-on-one chats if you have a small audience, saying, how could I help you? And through these one-on-one chats, you might start seeing that people have the same questions over and over again, and then you could create a product from that. So it's something we discuss a lot in the Circle community, but going and seeing, going and talking to your audience one-on-one, or, just emailing them one-on-one, this can be an awesome way to find out if they have this common question, and then you could create a product off of that. So something that we're going to discuss a lot in the Build Your Audience Challenge next week is that if you can find something that a few people are interested in, it's going to be so much better than just going out and building a product alone and kind of isolated. So building in public is really important for you in particular, for this creator. So long story short, I would focus more on just keeping your email list engaged and keeping your email list warm, because your email list is going to be your biggest supporters. I mean, honestly, if someone's giving you their email address, that is a great sign for your product, because our email list, when we check our email, it is a direct line to us. And it's not, on Twitter or on YouTube. They might see your video, they might see your tweet, they might see your Facebook group post, but they're definitely going to see your email. And if someone gives you that, keep them engaged, keep emailing them. So I wouldn't say that there's an exact number. So I'm going to move on to the next question. Hopefully that was helpful, and feel free to always join our Circle community, and you can message me directly. And we love also if you just post on Circle right there, and we'll answer your question in public, and you'll also help other creators by asking there, but always feel free to DM me personally as well. So our next question, the question is about building on Twitter versus your email list from a 2021 perspective. So this is a great question. I would say for this creator that you need to do both, and you can't just focus, on one. And I wouldn't say it's like a competition. I would say that Twitter should kind of be your funnel for getting people to your email list, because Twitter is great. I love Twitter. It's awesome depending on where your audience is, Facebook, YouTube, personal forums, wherever. Building, on social media and building this audience is amazing, but I would say that your mission is to always get the people that are following you on a social media platform onto your email list. Because like I said just before, which is a great question to ask right now, is that your email list is going to be your most engaged creators, subscribers, and they're going to be your most engaged creator audience in a way, because they're giving you their email address. So I would definitely focus on instead of, which one is better, I would focus on building both. So first of all, providing value on Twitter, and then saying, hey, I'm going to post this awesome blog post in about an hour to my email list. So if you join now, you're going to get it. And you can see really top creators doing this a lot. I personally just joined someone's email list because they said they were going to talk about how they went from 0 to 10K monthly recurring revenue. And I was like, that's really interesting. And they posted, hey, I'm going to send this out in an hour. So if you join my list right now, you're going to get the email. So I joined immediately. So I would focus, if you're on Twitter and if your audience is on Twitter, moving them to your email list as much as possible. And then I would say for building on Twitter, my personal advice, like I said before, in 2019, I had 300 Twitter followers, and it was mostly my friends and, my family and coworkers and people that were mostly just looking at my dog photos and my angry political tweets. So I would say that for building on Twitter, kind of look into courses you could take. Daniel Basallo has an amazing Twitter course. I took it. I highly recommend it. Focusing on providing value is going to be huge, and responding to every comment and DM that you get one-on-one and creating value for people on there. And if you really want to grow on Twitter for this audience question, I would say that focus on providing value, focus on interacting one-on-one with your audience, and then also seeing what you can do to help other people online. So kind of like a brief story until I'm totally going off on a rampage here with this question, but I think it's an amazing question. That's why. About, a year ago, I found Daniel Basallo on Twitter, and he was creating his Twitter course. And, I was looking at it, but I wasn't really ready to purchase yet. And then he offered to give away Twitter profile reviews. And I saw this and I thought it was amazing because I, wanted to grow on Twitter and I wanted to create my Gumroad product, but I didn't really know how to start. So he looked at my Twitter profile and he gave me some actionable items of what I could work on, how I could get more growth, and kind of it started building. He messaged me once and I thought, wow, I know him now. I want to buy his product. And then immediately when his product was available, I bought his Twitter course. So this is something, like I said, we love to do things that don't scale, and you can do things that don't scale on Twitter. And we're also going to be discussing this a lot in our Circle community next week when we start our Build Your Audience Challenge. So definitely highly recommend you join that for this creator in particular. And it's starting on Wednesday, and it's going to be the best way for you to kind of work through building an audience, what content you should be focusing on, kind of the tips and tricks for fast growth, and then providing value. And also you're creating your email list. So we have a great question in the Q&A, and we might have time for one more question. So please feel free to post in the Q&A if you have it now. Hopefully we can get to a few more. So our next question is, what is the right time to start a memberships product? Oh, that is an awesome question. So if any of you don't know, we just launched Gumroad memberships, and it's kind of the best way you can easily create a paid subscription service to whatever you want to do. For instance, I'm on a few paid memberships on Gumroad right now, and I'm just in their Circle community, and that's what I'm paying for, and I love it. And just communicating with other people there and learning from the people that are hosting the group. So if you don't know, memberships are awesome. Highly recommend you all check it out. So I would say that there's not really a right time. I would start now. I think kind of that famous saying is, when is the best time to start? Yesterday. When is the next best time? Today. So for this Gumroad creator in particular, asking about when is the right time to start a memberships product, I would say throw it out there immediately. And maybe this is something where you're letting creators subscribe to your email list, and you're teaching them about how they can sell more on Gumroad. Or maybe you are doing a dog training course, and if they subscribe to you, you can allow them access to your Circle community. So I would say that there's really no time to just worry about when you should start, but I would focus more on how you can provide value to people, and that will kind of bring people into your memberships. So we're eventually We're eventually going to be doing some Gumroad membership challenges. So if you haven't subscribed already, you can subscribe at gumroad.com/Gumroad, and then you'll be the first to know about those challenges when they're coming out. And we have a follow-up question from that creator. Any pointers while starting one? Yeah, I think just focus on providing value and talking with your audience and seeing what they're interested in. And this is an awesome question. I think it's applicable for anything on Gumroad. I would just find out ways that you can provide value to people and make them also feel like they're going to miss out if they don't subscribe. And so here is our last question. What software would you recommend to use for email marketing? Generally, what's the best way to handle all the new email addresses you collect? Yeah, so Gumroad makes this really easy. You can use Gumroad and you can send out posts to your entire audience. You can also filter, you can schedule them. We actually run our Gumroad challenges through our own email at Gumroad, and we run our Gumroad email list on Gumroad. So it's like a 90-second setup for you to set up your Gumroad follow page. And also the link in the chat up there is going to be super helpful from Sahil's Gumroad workshop for CSS. So I would highly recommend that you just use Gumroad. It's really easy. You can keep all of your customers right there. You can see, when you need to schedule a post or follow up to people based on your sales. So highly recommend trying that. Awesome. So I think that is all the time we have for today. But like I said earlier, we're going to have the Build Your Audience Challenge starting next week. So if you haven't subscribed already, you can subscribe at gumroad.com/Gumroad, and you'll see all the first announcements for all of our new features and also all of our new challenges that are coming up. So highly recommend you subscribe there, and also join our Circle community where we can chat one-on-one, and you can also meet other creators. So hopefully this Q&A session was helpful. We'll be hosting these very regularly in 2021. And thank you all for all your time.